Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 117, Diamondbacks versus Dodgers game 1. And also of enough, I would definitely tell you enough, stick till the end because enough of there are some type of special things I want to talk about from this game and also just for me and expective in a way. So if you want to stay at the end. Lineup of today, pretty much it looks like the same from yesterday. Nothing didn't not really change. I think everybody is the same. Vargas did came in to pitch hit, and stuff, and then in the top of the ninth, Vargas did came in to play. Took over for Lars Newbar for DH, and then bottom of the ninth, Jorge Barosa came in to pitch run for I believe Max Kempler in the ninth and stuff. So it's pretty much of that. Yeah, it looks like 50-50 in a way where enough of some people got base hits and some didn't. The only person had more than one hit is probably Berdomo with 2 for 4. The rest has 1 or something, and then the other has none. And fortunately enough, Vargas, the only thing why he has 0-0 because he just walked, and that's basically it. Doesn't count to his batting in a way. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really a whole lot to the offense. It looks pretty good. And, it's more positive, but, more positive to the end. Starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks was going to be Morel Kelly. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 4, and then gave up only 1 run. Morel Kelly was actually doing pretty good, giving up only 2 runs. I mean, not 2 runs, 2 hits. Pretty solid overall. Honestly enough, he had a no-hitter till the time enough of Edmund came in to hit. Fortunately enough, it went to Tim Tawa. He was trying to field it, but the ball came out of his glove. So fortunately enough, it was a fair ball, not an error on Tawa, and so that kind of ruined the no hitter overall and stuff. He made a good effort, but fortunately enough, it was just not enough. And then fortunately, after giving up the run he gave up to Freddie Freeman, he basically came out from the game from a leg cramp from his leg and stuff, so not really good and stuff. I don't know, he's been struggling being healthy a lot and stuff, and it's just not good to see him going down at this point and stuff, and we really need his help very well and stuff. So I honestly enough, I don't know what the Diamondbacks are going to do to take over for Kelly's spot. So that's pretty much it and stuff. The Dodgers starting pitcher was Roki Sasaki. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 5, walked 1, and gave up 2 runs. So I think it was a really great matchup with Morel Kelly and stuff. Obviously, of these Japanese pitchers for the Dodgers, even with Shohei and stuff, they're pretty solid overall. They got a lot of movements. He can throw like 100 miles per hour. Absolutely insane, especially at a young age as well from him. But overall, he's pretty solid. But fortunately enough, I think that this was a great matchup. But both of them did great. Some didn't do great. Just what it is. But overall, both good starting pitchers. And then the bullpen for the Diamondbacks: Juan Morello, Taylor Clark, Brandon Garcia, and Kevin Ginkel. At the end, and so yeah, we kind of gave up a little runs here and there, a little bit, but fortunately enough, we got the job done, And 4 for 1 Morello. Fortunately enough, feeling bad for enough for Merrill Kelly with his injured and stuff. Getting out the inning with when it was like maybe bases loaded or something, or he just struck out the side to basically hug Kelly in the dugout. So I like that moment and stuff. So yeah, and then we're gonna go scoring right now and stuff. I took out the boring stuff, so these are the ones are very important to talk about. Nolan Arenado with a solo home run to make it 1-0 bottom of the second. Perdomo with the RBI triple to make it 2-0 bottom of the fifth. Tommy Edman with the RBI single to make it. So there you go. So I'm going to start over on that. Sorry. Tommy Edman with the RBI single to make it 2-2. Tied the game up in the top of the 8th. Andy Padres with a solo home run to make it 3-2. Top of the 8th. Fortunately enough, that is not it, because at the end, my boy, enough of Ryan Wolfsmith, the kid, came through with a 2-home run to make it 4-3. Walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th. That is the final score. Diamondbacks won 4-3. Their record now is 62-55, and we are now back into enough to win. Tied with the Phillies in the wild card spot. The Cubs just keep winning. It's kind of crazy to think about that and stuff. But fortunately enough, it's good to see enough of we're still hanging out with the Phillies in the wild card. We're still over than the Padres in the division and stuff. So it's pretty good to be in that typical spot, and also second place in the NL West division. So hopefully enough of we can win much positive in a way. I think we'd be pretty solid overall. So yeah, that's pretty much of that, and just a great win. Seeing enough of with Ryan Wolfsmith with that home run and stuff really gets you excited, because in generally enough, Ryan Wolfsman is not really a home run hitter. He's a baseball player. So that's from, Bob Brenly keeps saying of enough. But, this is his his second home run of the season and his career and stuff. I love the swing overall, like really, really good swing. I'm surprised enough of that ball carried out and stuff, but very, very exciting and stuff. You gotta love to see it, everything about it and stuff. So that's that. Progress, just gotta keep going. I think that's the most biggest thing about it. I thinking offense needs to do a little better overall and stuff. It's just so weird enough of some of them can be cold and some can be hot at this moment. But fortunately enough, at the right moment, one weekend can make a positive enforcement to the team to go more forward. And some can do good, some cannot. And so Lars Newbar went 1 for 3. It's good to see him did get some bats here and there and stuff, and absolutely help the team get a double and all that stuff. So love to see him getting comfortable with the Diamondbacks and also with the team, and just everybody as well. And fortunately enough for Corbin Carroll, I thought this was like a very sweet moment for him and stuff. Fortunately enough, his girlfriend was singing the national anthem, so he got kind of a little surprised over to the side. They showed his reaction, and I love his reaction overall and stuff. Just seeing his face going to like, huh? Like, what's going on? Like, who's over there? And then fortunately enough, he saw his girlfriend, and that's where the smile comes through, and gotta love those moments all through and stuff. And then him walking to his girlfriend to say good job and all and stuff. I'm hopefully enough of she did a great job, because again, like, I didn't really hear it, but fortunately enough, I think she did her best overall. And then also enough of Corbin Carroll with a robbing home run from Tommy Edman. Like, what? And stuff. They specifically said enough of this is probably the best catch in 2026 of the year and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Just great effort just to get to the ball and the catch. A little smile to the end and stuff. It's just like, yeah, I did that. So we gotta love those moments. So overall, it's just I think we just need to just keep going and work hard and stuff. And then pitching wise, enough of we just gotta do the same thing. I personally enough of saying enough of really doesn't even matter who's at the end of the stick. Where enough of we just gotta go out there and do our best, work hard, and play the game right. And fortunately enough, that's what the pitchers are saying as well. Ryan Wolfman saying that, Kelly's saying that. Everybody assume enough of they want to do that way as well. It doesn't even matter who's at the plate, who's at the mound and stuff. We go out there and play our hardest, and that's what you gotta put your mind and your heart to and stuff to actually win the correct way and stuff. And I think and that's a biggest thing to say in sports and make you motivate. So that's a positive right there. And then MVP for today, I put Ryan Wolfman. It's good for us to see him to do something very well. This is his third MVP on this podcast, and he is the hero of with that walk-off home run. Good to see he's doing good and stuff. Another thing I really want to talk about at the end, I'm done with everything, so you're at the end. I would just say thank you for if you stayed at the end at this point and stuff. There's other things I really want to talk about, and I thinking this is a positive for the Diamondbacks, and just getting a little memory a little bit to the Diamondbacks of what they did in 2001. There was two other players, former Diamondbacks, were at the game and stuff, and I really want to just to talk about it because currently enough of I know one of them and stuff, so that's the coolest thing and stuff. Junior Spivey and stuff. I never heard of this guy before, and stuff. He was with Bob Brantley and Steve when they were doing their announcers. Sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why just that happened. But I guess he's I'm looking at his stats and stuff. I guess he was a second baseman. Again, I'm not really remember of this team very well of enough. The only people I really know from the 2001 Diamondbacks, is the people were really huge for the team, really helped the team in a positive way, and if you have no recognized name or face or never heard of you and stuff, I would honestly enough, I don't really remember you very well and stuff. And Junior Spavey, I never heard of him, so this is the first time hearing him and stuff. And I'm assuming enough of he was a good player for the Diamondbacks in that year and stuff. Okay, I was 3 or 4 years old at this time. Okay, don't really remember. Okay, the only I can remember enough of Game 7 2001 World Series when we won it. Okay, that's the only biggest thing about that. And also the good players were on the team, obviously enough of it and stuff. So it was cool to see him there, talking to Bob Brenly and Steve in the announcer box and stuff. The coolest thing about Junior Spavey, especially enough I had never heard of him and stuff, there's a picture, I don't want to show you, but if you can imagine it and stuff, there is a magazine picture where enough of with I don't know it says sports magazine whatever and stuff, but Junior Spavey was like has a really good shot of him in the shot where he came through when the Diamondbacks did win the World Series in 2001, Game 7 over the Yankees. Um, while they were trying to pal together and stuff, and Spavey was one of the people, had a really good angle just of him in a way in the crowd and stuff. And I thought that was like a cool thing to show and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's him, yeah. So that's pretty much of that, and just saying about these things and saying about enough of his sons are playing football and stuff, and that's a cool thing. I think he's a coach on the team for his sons and stuff. I thought that's a cool moment with a father and son with your kids. Gotta love all that and stuff. And then the other person they showed on screen at the game and stuff, person enough of I actually do know who this is. It's kind of crazy to see he was actually there at the game, just enjoying. He probably had hopefully he stayed at the end because why not? Stay for Ryan Wolfsman walk-off home run. It was special, bro. It was crazy. So they show Brett Brins at the game and stuff. And currently of enough, I actually do know who this is and stuff. Honestly enough, I actually know him in person as well, in a way. Like, actually met him and stuff. He honestly, if he recognized me, because it's been a very long time, the last time I saw Brins as a person and stuff. I never knew at the time when I met him in the first time and stuff, I never knew he was a MLB pitcher overall and stuff. Fortunately enough, yet he was the pitcher for the Diamondbacks in 2001 and stuff. Obviously, hearing about enough of he was a closer as well, because he was telling about a story about of what was happening. He thought enough it was going to go to the minor leagues. Unfortunately, enough, Bob Brenly just put him in the closer spot and stuff, and he got 9 saves. So to his whole career overall and stuff. So pretty solid, and just have that mindset and just go out there, do your best. And he really had a big impact with the 2001 Diamondbacks, and really helped the team in a special way and stuff. So good for Brett Spence. Tell us that story, because you're one of the type of special people, are part of that team, and also experienced enough with a World Series champion team as well. And person enough of, again, knowing this person as well really made my memory getting back to it and stuff. And the thing is enough of how I actually know who Brett Spence is as a person and stuff, because fortunately enough, even Bob Brenly even said this as well and stuff. He went to school in Peoria. That's where I went and stuff. Just Peoria City, meant to say, because that's where I lived. And then he went to Centennial High School, and that's where I went. That's where I went to high school, Centennial High School in Peoria and stuff. And I wasn't really very focused on baseball on my high school years and stuff. I only tried out for baseball only twice in my 4 years in high school at Centennial. I tried out for my freshman year, didn't make it because obviously I was not really good enough at the time, and just other people were just a lot better. And then sophomore, it was weird because like I totally forgot about it and it totally missed, so I didn't try out and stuff. So I just kind of let loose on my sophomore year and stuff, and then realized enough of like maybe next year, for my junior year and stuff. I tried out and stuff. Fortunately enough, I didn't make it as well. But fortunately enough, I did talk to the head coach on the team and stuff, and just making sure enough of can I do anything to help out on the team by not just being a player on the team and stuff. And then um, the coach basically told me, just like, yeah, we'll figure something out for you, because somehow enough my mom wanted to make me enough to do something with baseball in high school and just getting involved. And so on the last day, if I don't make the team, can you just understand enough of, like, maybe I can help out or do something to the baseball team overall. And fortunately enough, they made me a manager, not like the manager you think as in MLB and stuff. Fortunately enough, you could say enough of I'd be like assistant manager to the side. The only thing what I did is I just helped the team. I was also the ball boy, or the bat boy you call it and stuff. So I did that here and there and stuff for the Diamondbacks, for the varsity team for the Centennial. I had a blast because, I hanged out with my friends around my age and stuff. Loved to see baseball games and stuff out there, just to watch and help and just do all these typical things and be part of the team while I'm not even a baseball player and stuff. So that's the most biggest thing enough of that. But fortunately enough for Brett Prince, in a way enough, he was one of the coach for the Centennial varsity team on my junior year and stuff, and that's how I know who he is and stuff. They also represent his World Series 2001 ring, overall scene of that and stuff, and also they have his retired number at the Centennial varsity field as well, with his Dimebacks number and stuff. So it was really, really, really cool with that and stuff. So yeah, and also when Tom came over to literally to talk to Brett, he was saying about what's the most biggest thing about for the 2001 World Series team and stuff, and love his answer overall and stuff, because you got to put your mindset in the positive way, where enough of, he specifically said about this team was special. There was just a lot of special people. Just play really good baseball overall. All the people really made a difference to this team. And I would definitely say Prince, with his 9 save, being the closer, really, really did make the difference as well at the time. And just saying enough of all the hard work and seeing this is a really good baseball team, and also winning the right way and stuff, working hard, everything. Love his answer overall and stuff, because again, you gotta put your mindset with that in a way enough of you gotta understand to have a better heart and a good heart, to work hard and do your best and go out there and compete in a way. And that's what the 2001 World Series Arizona Diamondbacks did, absolutely, and stuff, because they never gave up. They really didn't and stuff. And we had some moments enough of it wasn't good and stuff, but fortunately enough, they ride high, and fortunately they made successful to literally win the whole thing, and also beating a really good team in the World Series. The Yankees were about to win four World Series in a row, and fortunately enough, we kind of let them go downhill to that point enough just to win 3 instead. So we broke their record. And then, and I understand enough of what happened in 2001 with 9/11 and stuff. It was a very sad, tragic happen and stuff, especially enough it happened in New York and also in Washington. But fortunately enough, those are in the past, and fortunately enough, of horrible people are the typical people are gonna do those and stuff. Fortunately enough, hopefully, everybody in the world would understand enough of don't do this because you're gonna be a threat to our world and also our country if you come in and destroy us in a way. And then, fortunately enough, of we're much stronger and better in a way. We're just gonna attack you back. Basically, that. I don't know. You remember in World War II, bro? Come on, seriously, really? Hello. Don't mess with us. We're Team USA, America. All those typical things and stuff. So I just wanted to tell you guys about this. I just thought that was the coolest thing, seeing these two former pitchers, especially enough of Brett Prince, the person that I actually know. Like, I know who this is. I actually know him as a person. I met him. I saw him. He knows me and all this stuff. Like, the coolest thing. He went to my Centennial High School. Okay, like, that's the coolest thing about that. And talk about enough of coyotes, man. Like, come on. Like, come on, Coyotes, go Coyotes, That's my high school. I went there 4 years and stuff. I was a teenager. Um, so, so just great moments and seeing those faces, and also, hey, you got a great game overall. Ryan Woltzman hit a walk-off home run and stuff. Like, gotta love everything about this and stuff. Sorry, I talk too much, bro. That's the most hassle enough for me and stuff. But you gotta have the enjoyment, the passion, everything. I got so much to it and stuff. And also, enough. Dodgers want. Well, sorry. Whoa. Dodgers lost 7 in a row. I don't think that ever happens and stuff. And this is the 5th time in a row we actually won a game over the Dodgers in this season. And also, currently enough of what I know as well, where enough of I thinking this is the last series we're playing with the Dodgers. So hopefully we can go with a big bang over this team we don't like in our organization. In our division, I meant to say, and stuff. So hopefully we can win big. That's what we want and stuff. Keep being LA. It's like, you got Terry Scuba, okay. We got Lars Newball. He's not better, but we got something. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you guys stick at the end at the right moments when we celebrate enough of the 25th anniversary of the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. That's probably the reason why they were there and stuff, and maybe just get a good game out of it. They did, really. And it's getting those City Connect jerseys and all those typical things, have some fun, all of that. So I just appreciate you guys absolutely watch this episode, enjoying it and everything and stuff. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.